Let's do this.
All right. Head up onto the platform and we'll see if I can find a signal. The device doesn't work from over there. You have to be on the platform.
Dr. Lee is a valuable asset. If any harm comes to her...
Let's see. Relays dialed in. Beam emitters warmed up. Everything looks green. Let me start scanning for the signal. Cross your fingers. I'm inputting the code now. Wow, there's a heck of a lot of interference and ghosting. It's gonna take a minute or two to lock in. By the way, this little trip you're taking is a heck of an opportunity to find out as much as we can about the Institute and what they're up to. I put a clever little program on this holotape that'll scan their network and download anything it finds. If you place it in any terminal down there, it'll do the rest. Bring it back to me and I'll see if I can make sense of whatever it found. Well, well, looks like we have a winner. RF wave capture complete. Ramping the emitter. 60%, 80%. Emitter spiking but steady. All that's left is to throw the transmit switch. Transmitting in 3, 2, 1. Stay safe, soldier.
Hello. I wondered if you might make it here. You're quite resourceful. I'm known as Father. The Institute is under my guidance. I know why you're here. I'd like to discuss things with you face to face. Please, step into the elevator. I can only imagine what you've heard, what you think of us. I'd like to show you that you may have the wrong impression. Welcome to the Institute. This is the reality of the Institute. This place, these people, the work we do. For over 100 years, we've dedicated ourselves to humanity's survival. Decades of research, countless experiments and trials, a shared vision of how science can help shape the future. It has never been easy, and our actions are often misinterpreted by those above ground. Someday, perhaps, we can show them what we've accomplished. But for now, we must remain underground. There's too much at stake here to risk it all. As you've seen, things above are unstable. I'd like to talk to you about what we can do for everyone. But that can wait. You are here for a specific, very personal reason. You are here for your son.
Yes, I'm Sean.
Sean? Is that really you?
Who are you?
Sean, where is everyone?
Father, what's going on? What's happening?
Sean, are you okay? You're not hurt, are you?
What's going on? Father? Father!
What do you want me to do, Sean? What can I do?
I don't know you. Go away. Father! Father, help me! There's someone here, help me!
Who is Father? Where is he?
Father? Father, help me! He's trying to take me! Father? Father, help me!
Sean. S923, recall code Cirrus. Fascinating, but disappointing. The child's responses were not at all what I anticipated. He's a prototype, you understand. We're only just now beginning to explore the effects of extreme emotional stimuli. Please try and keep an open mind. I recognize that you are emotional, and that your journey here has been fraught with challenges. Let's start anew.
Give me Sean.
I know. I know. You've gone to such lengths to find him.
Just... help me understand what's going on here.
I promised answers. An answer, but I need you to realize that this situation is... You have traveled very far, and suffered a great deal to find your son. Well, your tenacity, it's good to finally meet you. After all this time, I am your son.
How is that even possible?
I know this is a lot to take in. In the vault, you had no concept of the passage of time. You were released,
Sure.
But then you learned that your son was no longer an infant, but a 10-year-old boy. Is it really so hard to accept that it was not 10? And here I am.
But why? Why take a child? Why take...
Ah, now that's the question, isn't it? At that time, the year 2227, the Institute had made great strides in scientific curiosity, and the goal of perfection drove them ever onward. So they followed the best example thus far. The human being, walking, talking, fully articulate.
Human synths? Really?
Human-like synth. The Institute endeavored to create synthetic organics. Plenty of that was available, of course. But it had all become corrupted. Even in their attempts to shield themselves from the world above, members of the Institute had been exposed. But then the Institute found me after discovering records from Vault 111. I was exactly what they needed. And so it was my deal. I am their father. Through science, we are...
Sure. And you've been down.
I have. Yes.
What's going on here?
Please try and keep an open mind. Let's start anew.
Father? That's you.
Father is my unofficial title. It's what I've come to mean to the people of the Institute, just as...
I'll make this very simple.
He's here, in the Institute, but I need you to... You have traveled. It's good to find... I am.
It's really you.
Yes. in the vault. But then you learned that your son was no longer an infant. Is it really so hard to accept that it was not 10? And here I am. To you, that would certainly seem true. At that time, the year 2227, the Institute scientific curiosity and the goal of perfection drove them ever. So they followed the best example thus far. The human being.
So the weird science experiments needed specimens.
In a manner of speaking. The Institute endeavored to create... Plenty of that was available, of course. But it had all become...
Right.
Even in their attempts to shield themselves from the... But then the Institute found me. After... I was exactly what they needed. And so it was my DNA that became... I am their father. Through science, we are...
Sean.
It really is.
Sure.
I know you must have questions. Kellogg. He was an Institute asset long before I arrived here. It wasn't until I became director that I learned...
You knew the man was a psych...
I don't expect you to understand or... The Institute took advantage of Kellogg's vicious... Institute technology prolonged his life. He never failed the Institute. I won't lie. It's no coincidence. What else can I say?
Your mother.
Yes. I've gone over the records of the incident, of course.
Collateral damage? Is that all she was to you?
What would you have me say? For many years, I never questioned. With old age comes regret. But what matters? What else can I say?
So you're in charge of the Institute?
I am the acting director, yes. I spent the Institute. It's important.
But director? Why you?
I was the most qualified for the position. I've lived my life within these walls. Dedicated to science. Ultimately, the Commonwealth has nothing to fear from us. Whatever you've seen or heard, I know I can convince you of that. Just give me time. I know there's more for us to do. The Institute is on the verge of some... I've been a part of something amazing here. And now, after all these years, you have an...
You want me to stay here?
Yes, that is what I propose. The Institute can provide a... You've been in the Commonwealth.
How can you say that? How can you be so
Because it is the simple truth. And I simply ask that you give the Institute... We really do have humanity.
Sure.
Will you take that chance?
All right.
Thank you. The Institute is now... You want to introduce yourself to the division. And finally, Dr. Lee in advance...